Hey guys, welcome to the Cold Oregon Beach. Today we are going to be doing my activating stretch routine. This is the stretching routine that I started doing this summer every day, and it's really helped my extensions, so I hope it helps yours too, and let's get started.
Okay, so we're just going to start by bending forwards in a standing pike stretch. Bend each knee, loosen your hamstrings for a minute, and now extend your right leg in front and go down into a split with the back toes tucked. Tucking the back toes helps to square your hips, and it also gives a deeper stretch in your hip flexor. I also like to reach back with my hand and pull on my knee to make sure that my hips are square and my back knee is stretched. And for the deepest stretch possible, make sure you're flexing your front foot and trying to keep your pelvis as vertical as possible and avoid tipping it forwards. Nice. Now grab onto your back foot with the same arm and bend it in as much as you can to feel a deeper stretch in your quad. Now let go of that foot and we're going to do spine waves. So bend your spine forwards and then backwards, and we're going to do this 8 times. For the first 4, keep your legs in parallel. And now you can turn out your legs to continue. Now we're going to try to lift up the front leg. It's not going to go anywhere, but just stretch your knee as much as you can and engage the muscles as if you were going to lift it. And the goal eventually is to lift it, but I'm pretty sure that's impossible. But trying to lift it engages all the right muscles you need for extensions to mount, so that's why I like to do this. Now go into a half split position, so bend your back knee, and I stretch forwards for a second, make sure my front foot's as turned out as possible and hamstrings stretched, and then lift that leg 6 times. And this time it should actually come off the ground. And you're trying to keep your back as straight as possible. It will round a little bit, mine is, but the goal is to straighten it out. And then I just grab onto my foot, get a little extra stretch before coming into a pigeon pose. So the goal is to have the front leg bent into 90 degrees and the hips square. I tuck the back toes just to square off the hips and then relax the toes. And then bend forwards with your torso, and we're going to try to lift the back leg. Just like with the front leg in the split, it's not going to go anywhere, but the idea is just to, by trying to lift it, you're engaging all the muscles you need for arabesque, and you're really strengthening your glutes and hamstrings, so that's what this helps with. Then I sit up, and for the last 2 of the 6, then bend in your front knee more so it's past the 90 degrees and lean forwards until you can actually lift up the back leg. This will require you to lift your hips off the ground probably, but just whatever it takes to actually lift the back leg. And again, I do that 6 times. Then I just went back into the split to see what it felt like after that. And now we're going to repeat all of those stretches on the other side. So starting with the regular split with the back toes tucked. Now my left leg is in front. And then grabbing onto that knee to twist the spine to square off and stretch the back knee. Now point your toes and bend in the back leg to feel the quad stretch. Good. Now we're doing the spine wave, so bend forward and backwards 8 times, the first 4 in parallel, and then the last 4 turned out. Really try to articulate through your spine as much as you can. It's hard in the split position, but it really loosens up your spine and feels good. Now we're going to try to lift the front leg 6 times. Again, it's not going to move, but we're just engaging all the muscles that we need to lift it. And try not to sickle your foot when you try to lift like I was doing. I'm doing it a little better now. Those first few reps, really sickling. Try to avoid that. Now bend the back knee, go into the half split position, keeping the front leg turned out as much as possible, and we're going to lift it 6 times. Doing these lifts, you should really feel your psoas activating, and that will help your extensions. Alright, now go into the pigeon pose with the front leg at 90 degrees and the hips square, and then lean forwards and attempt to lift the back leg 6 times. I think on this side I forgot to sit up for the last 2, but I usually sit up for the last 2. Now bend your front leg in more and lift your hips off until you can actually lift the back leg. I was just making sure my hips were square for that last one. Sorry for the delay. Now rotate into a straddle position, and we're going to do 5 side bends in each direction. Again, to loosen up the spine and open up that horizontal mobility. Now we're going to do one more side bend, and this time we're going to hold it for 50 seconds. And during this, you're really lengthening on the side that you're stretching away from and keeping your body straight so you're not twisting towards the leg. For an extra stretch, you can put your shoulder on the ground like this, but then return to having both hips on the ground, because when you put one shoulder down, the hip will probably come off. You can try looking down and up to feel the stretch through your rib cage and QL muscle. Now we're going to repeat that side reach on the other side. So just bending over to the other side, grabbing onto your foot if you can. You can try to put your shoulder down, allowing the hip to come off for a second. And then put that hip back down. This really helps loosen up your QL muscle for a développé side without distorting the torso. Nice. Now come out of that and bend in one leg. I like to lift my hips off the ground to bend in that leg so I can make sure that it's as turned out as possible. And then reach forwards, put your elbows down. You're gonna hold this for 20 seconds, keeping both legs turned out, especially the bent leg. That one is very easy to turn in when you're moving forwards. And you feel a deep stretch in the hip of the bent leg. Good. Now sit up and turn out that leg as much as possible, pushing it back with your hand just to loosen up the range. And now flex the foot of the bent leg and rotate in and out 6 times. Make sure you're rotating from the deep external rotators and the glute, and you're not using your hip flexor to do this. Now we're going to repeat that on the other side, so bend in the leg and reach forwards for 20 seconds. Now sit up and open up the range by pushing back on your knee to turn it out as much as you can. And then flex the foot and rotate in and out 6 times. Sorry, my timing on these is so uneven. Just making sure you can really feel the rotation from the external rotator muscles and not the hip flexor. Now we're going to try to lift our hips off the floor. To do this, you need a lot of inner thigh engagement and hamstring engagement. And we're going to hold it at the top for approximately 10 seconds and then come down, and we're going to do this 4 times. Come down and go back up. And down, and then up again. And down, and for the last one, I put my hands on my thighs and push up. If you are having a difficulty with the arms above the head, then I recommend pushing down on your thighs for all of them, but I usually just do it for the last one because it can be quite intense in the hips. Now I just straightened out my straddle again, and you're going to reach up and turn your torso towards the leg and reach forwards over top of your leg for 10 seconds. Now reach forwards on the inside of the leg. I usually would have both arms flat on the ground here, but I didn't want to get my arm all sandy, so that's what this weird prop is for. Nice. Now we're going to try to lift that leg that we were just leaning towards. So lift it up 6 times. It will move forwards when you do this, probably, and not stay in a flat straddle. But we're trying to keep it as turned out as possible. Now we're going to repeat that on the other side. So reach up, rotate your torso towards the leg, and reach forwards. Now reach forwards on the inside of the leg. Make sure you're keeping both legs as turned out as possible when you do these reaches. And now we're going to lift that leg 6 times. Also, when you do these lifts, try to keep your pelvis vertical and don't tuck or tilt it anywhere. The engagement should be coming from the inner thighs and the hip flexors to do these lifts. Nice. Now we're going to try to lift both legs just 4 times. You can put your hands down in front and push down to help lift the legs. Those double leg lifts are intense, I know. Now I just straightened out my straddle again, and now you're going to bend both knees and reach forwards for 30 seconds, keeping your legs turned out so your knees and toes are facing the ceiling. When I'm at home, I usually try to lay down all the way in this position. Again, I'm just going on the elbows so I don't get all sandy. And also try to lengthen out your spine as much as you can so you're not totally rounding forwards. Now straighten out your legs and roll forwards into a flat middle split. Again, I would usually lay down all the way, but I don't want to get all sandy, so elbows it is. For the last stretch, just bend your knees in this middle split so you're in this frog's position. Make sure your knees are still in a 180 degree angle from each other and your knees are bent at 90 degrees. And then for the last 10 seconds, I usually bend my knees more so I'm in like a grand plie position so that my toes are touching when they're pointed in the back. And that's the last stretch for today, so I hope you like this stretching routine. It's very activating and strengthening, and if you tried it and liked it, make sure to comment this emoji and like and subscribe for more videos.